here. I know it's been a while since I've done a video, but been tied up doing things, and like they say, it is what it is. But I'm here today, and we're here to talk about Richard Halliday and the last couple of things that come up. I know a lot of you say, well, we don't hear anything on the news. There's no much traction going on. And you're right, there's no much traction being reported. The El Paso media and Fort Bliss public information officer refused to report all the activity or all the leads or all the information regarding this case. Why? CYA cover their arses. So I'm here today to talk about the latest that's been reported. It's been reported that Richard had put in I can't confirm the number, but had put in IG reports. IG is, of course, Inspector General reports. So to do an IG report, you just don't do a simple blanket statement kind of report. This is very specific. So Richard knew something, saw something, said something, and if that's true, he was retaliated against. So a lot of people ask, well, why did Richard leave? Did he leave? Did he not leave? What's going on? But now with this new information that Richard had put in IG reports, that just changes things. That changes things completely. Because now his chain of command is going to start shaking in their boots. Why? Because a soldier who was considered to be a whistleblower spoke up, and now he's gone. Now we don't know how he's gone. That's still in question. I have my beliefs of what happened to him. But no matter what happened to him, right now a soldier who spoke up is missing. Missing. Not here to speak up. What did they do to him? Did they intimidate him? Did they just go after him so much that he just said, screw this, I'm done, I'm leaving? Did something happen to him and he's still on post? I don't believe that, but I can confirm that it did not happen. But what's going on here? Why is Captain Park, retired First Sergeant Jay Paulin, so actively defending the actions? I mean, Jay Paulin went to go visit Richard while he was being evaluated for mental health. Well, he was retired. Why would you do that? Well, to me, looking at everything, you would wonder, hey, well, he's retired. They can't do anything to him, right? Wrong. Just because you're retired, you can still be recalled if it's found that you did something illegal or against the UCMJ, Uniform Court of Military Justice, while you were on active duty. Yes. So just because Jay Paulin's retired does not mean he got away with, or potentially, I'm not saying he did something, but I'm not saying he didn't either. But he still can be recalled. He could still be held accountable for whatever actions he did or whatever actions he did not take. Okay? So a lot of times people say, well, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Well, sometimes when you don't do anything, that's wrong. By not taking action, it causes certain things to happen. So, by not taking action, by you guys saying we didn't do anything, you can be as guilty as if you actually did take certain actions. So I just wanted to come out here and just say, hey, you know what? We're getting sick and tired of this stuff. We're getting sick and tired of all the rumors. I mean, Jay Paulin himself said he's getting sick and tired of the false narratives. Brother, please. It was said that First Sergeant Rosario accused me of vandalizing his house. You want to talk about false narratives? What do? They attack those to defend themselves. They attack those who potentially can find the truth. So they started accusing me of all sorts of things. People are like, aren't you worried, Sammy? Aren't you scared? Oh, man, please. if you're not being accused of something, if you're not being called names, if you're not, people just talking bad about you, then you're not doing enough. So I'm glad to hear that people are talking bad about me. They're making accusations. Why? Because they want to discredit me. Why? Because obviously what I'm doing, I'm pushing buttons. I'm holding them accountable. I'm one of those guys that I just don't take things at face value. I ask why. When CID, and I'm not talking about the Halliday family, but when CID gives some sort of answer to any family member or any family that is missing a loved one, I tell them, okay, verify. Like they say, like my good old buddy Ronnie used to say, in God we trust, everything else we verify. Don't just take it as is. Look through the paperwork, look through the documents. Oh, I love the Army. Why? They put everything on paper. They put everything on paper. Look through the documents, and guess what? You will find a paper trail. Literally, a paper trail of what they did. Why? Because they love to write everything. They got a form for everything. They got a form for a form for a form of the form. Well, guess what? Dig into those documents, and you will find something that will lead you to what you're looking for. So right now, I'm glad that, hey, you know what? Those documents are being looked through again. We're finding more information. We're finding names. We're tracking people down. CID is shaking in their boots. Oh boy, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. At the end of the day, all we want is to find Richard Halliday. And we want to do what we can to help all those other service members all over the country who are turning up missing. I mean, it's pretty sad when they come back from overseas alive, yeah, they die here in the States. They're dying here. Why? Why? Because their leadership failed them. Their leadership looked the other way as illegal activity was being done, and to cover their rear ends so the Army doesn't look bad, they decide to do cover-ups because they're more worried about recruiting than they are about doing the right thing. So, recently some other person came onto the scene wanting to help the team find Richard Halliday, but came across very aggressive. Some of the stories didn't match up. You know, you really can't be part of law enforcement and part of the cartel at the same time and then tell people that they have to respect you. Like, shh, please. But of course, that person, when I would not release all the information that I know, all of a sudden started accusing me of hiding Richard and helping his mom hide Richard Halliday. I'm like, brother, please. I want to get back to normal. I've been doing this for just about a year now. I got through so much stuff at home with my spouse, with my kids. I've got so much stuff going on that is on hold because I'm doing this, looking for Richard Halliday. And this guy says that, oh, we're hiding him on purpose. Oh, you're out of your mind. I don't care who finds Richard Halliday. I just want to make sure he's found as soon as possible. This isn't an ego thing like CID. CID doesn't get off their butts to do a darn thing, and then those who are, they want to attack. If CID finds them, great. I doubt it, though. Why? Because they don't do anything other than search on their keyboards. Let me see. Yep. We have searched for him everywhere. Okay, email sent. Okay, ma'am, sorry, we don't have anything. We have been searching for over 56 hours. And nothing. Yeah, nothing. Yep, can't find nothing. Sorry, ma'am. He'll come back whenever he wants to. Come on, man. What would you say? What would you do if your child, your son, your daughter turned up missing? I see all these pictures from all these soldiers, not just Richard Halliday, but all these soldiers at Fort Hood and Fort Bragg and in New Mexico. I see their pictures of when they were kids. 8, 9, 10, 12, 15. The Army loves to show the picture of these soldiers in the uniform. Why? Because that way you look at them as soldiers. And they knew that they might have to give the ultimate sacrifice and die. They make them seem like they are robots. They are soldiers, nothing but a number. They are expendable. They don't show you their pictures of when they were 8, 9 years old playing ball on the street. They don't show you the pictures where they were out in the park or walking their dog or any of those pictures. They don't show you the pictures of their first school dance or their first karate class. They don't show you when they used to be football athletes or basketball. They don't show you the pictures of them smiling and hugging their brothers and sisters or their pets. They don't show you any of that. Why? Because then you will see them as humans. The army doesn't want you to see them as humans. The army wants to desensitize you of them. The army wants you not to see them as humans, but as a number that can be replaced by another person and another person. Instead of worrying about keeping the ones that they have, all they want to do is, okay, we'll just get another one. We'll fill the spot. We will fill the spot. Well, guess what? I never thought I would be doing this ever. Kids grow up. When I grow up, I want to be this. I never thought when I grow up, I want to be pissing off CID. I never thought of it. I'm enjoying it, though. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm enjoying it. Why? Because at the end of the day, I'm the kind of guy that holds people accountable. Now, you might say, well, who do you think you are, Sammy? Why you? Why you? Why me? I don't know. But if not me, who? If not now, when? For those who don't know, and I might be wondering, there's something up with this Sammy guy. I mean, why is he so involved? Why is he so passionate? Why is he such a CAD butthole? Whatever you want to say. This is the reason why. I am a Marine veteran. I did 5 years in the Marine Corps. I do have an honorable discharge. Hey, sounds great, right? I did receive a good conduct medal. 3 years of service without being in trouble, right? Yeah, that's where it stopped. After my 3rd year, it all went downhill. I got busted down 3 times in 2 years. It was retaliation. Well, I wouldn't say it's all retaliation. I was 17 years old when I joined the Marine Corps. So what? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. What do you think my first Article 15 was for? Remember, I was 17 when I joined. Exactly. Underage drink. Gotcha. Chesty Puller was a very famous Marine who said, you're not a real Marine unless you get a, NJP, non-judicial punishment, Article 15. I was 3 times a Marine, I guess. But even after the first NJP, Article 15, I dusted myself off and I moved on. I did the best that I could. Second NJP comes around. I think I was more mad at myself for putting myself in that position. But guess what? Dusted myself off. Kept going. I was able to go from E4 to E3, back to E4 again, back to E3, back to E4. Woo! And when my 5th year came around and I wanted to re-enlist, I wanted to be a drill instructor. Unfortunately, you have to qualify. I met all the qualifications except one. My disciplinary actions. And so since I had 2 Article 15s, I was automatically disqualified. I was kind of discouraged. I wanted to have a B billet. That's something that you do besides your job. Also time to advance your career, move faster. People call me a fast tracker. Well, my career planner, when he saw how devastated I was that I couldn't qualify to be a drill instructor. Can you imagine me drill instructor? Yeah, I know. Sometimes my kids think I still want to be one. But anyway, my career planner worked hard and he found something. I say better than drill instructor. So I can re-enlist and further my career. And that was embassy duty. What? Embassy duty? I never thought of that. Even though it was harder, the regulations were more strict in certain places. There was this loophole where it said that as long as you didn't have 2 Article 15s within 18 months of each other, you would qualify. My NJPs were 19 months. Bam, let's do it. Qualified. Out of 500 Marines, only 25 were accepted. I was in the top 5. I went back to my unit. I had never been the best of the best. Remember, I had 2 Article 15s. But after being approved to go to embassy duty, I had people talking to me. I had officers, warrant officers come up to me, shake my hand, and say, I was in the Marine Corps, but people couldn't say my last name, so believe it or not, they called me by my first name. And I was aviation too. I work on aircraft, so it's a little different. But I had one officer coming up to me and say, "Hey, Sammy," he goes, "You know what? Just want to shake your hand." He goes, "I couldn't get into embassy duty." I said, "What?" I said, "But you were a warrant officer. You were the best of the best that listed, and you went warrant officer." He goes, "Yeah, but I couldn't go to embassy duty, and you could." I mean, that made me feel awesome. I had pilots coming up to me, shaking my hand and congratulating me. I never had that before. I was never the best. I was never number one. But for those 2 weeks, wow, it was just amazing. People were saying, "Wow, you got busted down twice and you just shook it off and you said, oh, well, it is what it is. Let's move on." But one day, as I was checking out, I had 2 weeks to go. 2 weeks ago, I was checking out. I was going to go to Quantico, Virginia for small arms training. And then, of course, do all that stuff and get graduated. And my first tour is a 2-year tour. The first tour, they give you, I guess, a horrible uh, assignment in some war-torn country. And then after you get done with that, they send you to some nice place. But anyway, and I already started checking out. And I'm with my unit. And, you know, I'm already ready to, like they say, my pack was halfway off already. I'm already saying goodbye to everybody, just having a couple last laughs before I leave because I'm potentially never going to see those guys again. And a staff sergeant by the name of Staff Sergeant Nices. Can you tell I'm completely over the situation already? Well, anyway, Staff Sergeant Nices comes in, he starts screaming and yelling at me in front of my Marines. It was a shift change. I was working days, and the night crew would come in, and then of course maintenance control, those are the people who are in charge of flights and stuff like that. We would do a meeting and a shift change meeting, and then of course day crew would leave and night crew would come in. Well, doing that shift change, that's our nicest decides to come in and start screaming and yelling at me in front of all my Marines. And I had just been approved to go to embassy duty. I was on cloud 9. I was the best of the best. So when he started screaming and yelling at me and said, "Excuse me there, Staff Sergeant," he's an E6. I was an E4. But remember, I had just been approved to embassy duty. I was in cloud 9. I said, "Look here, Staff Sergeant." I said, "First of all, let's walk outside. You don't talk to me that way in front of my Marines." We walk outside. Staff Sergeant Williams kind of followed behind me because he was my supervisor at the time. And as we're sitting there, we have Staff Sergeant Nices all of a sudden start yelling at me. And he said, "You're just like the rest of them." I said, "Just like the rest of them? What do you mean by that, Staff Sergeant?" And so I thought he was talking about an avionics technician. Avionics technician, we were the ones who did all the electrical communications, navigations, control systems. We were basically the tweets, or the nerds, as they call us, right? And then, of course, he was a mechanic. We called him the knuckle dragger. So we always had this thing, the smart guys versus the dumb guys, whatever. So when he said, "You're just like the rest of them," I kind of wanted him to clarify what he was talking about. So I got close to him and said, "What do you mean by that, Staff Sergeant?" And he looked at me and he says, "You're nothing but a lazy." His lips got together, and I knew what was coming. I got this close to him. And he said, "You're nothing but a lazy spick." And I remember saliva just right on my eye. I blew up. But I was infuriated. I should have knocked his head off. And I really should, because I ended up getting punished like I did. But I didn't. I believed in the system. I said, what he did is wrong. And instead of knocking him out, I said, "What did you say?" All of a sudden, there's a little bit of commotion. And down the hall, they were having the meeting. And we have Captain Craig. Captain Craig comes out, "Hey, Sammy, what's going on down there?" I said, "Yo, Captain, come on down here." I said, "Ask this Marine here what he just said." I looked at Staff Sergeant. I said, "Come on, tough guy. Say it again. Say it again." Captain Craig looked at me. "Sammy, we'll take care of that right now. Get your asses back in the shop." I said, "Aye, sir." Walked back to my shop. Staff Sergeant walked away. Staff Sergeant Williams saw it. Corporal Williams saw it. Several people saw and heard what Staff Sergeant Nices said. And when I said he called me a spick and I wanted to report it, all of a sudden people started talking, got back to Staff Sergeant Nices, and he wrote me up. He wrote me up for disobeying a lawful order, disrespect to our staff NCO, and dereliction of duty. I was busted down from E4 to E3. I was going to go on leave before I went to check into Quantico, Virginia. But instead of going on leave, it got switched to terminal leave. I was busted down from E4 to E3, 45 days of restriction, 45 days of extra duty, and of course, 45 days of half pay. What they did is they allowed me to finish my extra duty at home. Yeah, I technically was on restriction on terminal leave. When I had to go in front of the man, when I had to go to my NJP, my Article 15, I spoke to JAG and they said I had a case. They said that this staff sergeant had been accused of being a racist many times, but they didn't have enough proof. And that this time they finally did. I said, great, awesome. And it's funny because the lieutenant colonel who's taking my case said, third time's a charm. I said, what do you mean by that, sir? He's all like, well, this is your third Article 15. He goes, but you actually have a case on this one. I said, great, awesome. What we got to do? He says, well, you have to take your bust. You're going to go to legal platoon for up to 2 years. We're going to fight it. And then, of course, we'll see what we can do. I said, what? Legal whole platoon? Are you kidding me? I said, don't you know who I am? Remember, I had just got approved to go to embassy duty. I was in Cloud 9. I wasn't going to best for the best to the shitbag platoon. That's the platoon where all these guys are being kicked out are. And to me, I was like, I can't do that. And they said, well, you have 24 hours. Let us know. To me, I believed in the system. To me, I was like, no, this guy is a racist. He called me a spick. Staff Sergeant Williams and Corporal Williams were black. Sergeant Major Bradford was black. I got this in the bag. I don't need you, Jag. Please. I went to my NJP, my Article 15. I lost it all. They decided that because I had 2 Article 15s in the past, that automatically I was guilty. Even though we had witnesses, they said the Staff Sergeant Nices called me a spick. That was not even considered in my NJP. When they gave me my punishment, I said, well, what about Staff Sergeant Nices? Sergeant Major Bradford said, we talked to him. He said he'll never do it again. When asked why he called me a spick. Well, I looked at Sergeant Major Bradford and I said, well, Sergeant Major, I'll never disrespect him again either. He said, it doesn't work that way. He looked at me and he said, so, Marine, we have your reenlistment packet here. So, like, are you still interested in reenlisting? Do you still want to go through the reenlistment? I said, well, Sergeant Major, can I have my rank back, my orders to embassy duty, my money? Can I have all that back? He said, nope, sorry, not at this time. I said, well, Sergeant Major, I can't reenlist at this time. I turned around and I walked out before I was told I could walk out. What are you going to do? Kick me out? So I left. And I went to go check in to start. Fortunately, it was just 14 days. It was 2 weeks of extra duty. You know how hard it is to do extra duty when you're about to get out? You know how hard it is to do extra duty when you were the best of the best? When you were at Cloud 9, when you beat out 475 Marines in a position? You know how hard it is? That is a hard fall from heaven. I went back to my room and I tore it up. I broke furniture. I threw things through windows. It was a very bad time for me. I drank a lot. I was trying to drown my anger in alcohol that day. I'm not even talking about weeks. That day, I was just pounding them. I wanted to just drink myself to a stupor where I couldn't feel anything, where I couldn't do anything, couldn't hurt anybody. I remember the CQ. Yep, CQ. Come by. Staff duty officer comes by. I said, what's going on here? And I remember my buddy, my former roommate, who had moved out because he was an E4 and I was an E3. They separated us. He came to be with me. And when the CQ comes over, staff duty officer, starts asking what's going on, he goes to the staff sergeant and goes, hey, this is Sammy. He just got busted down. He goes, oh, that's right. Ugh. He could have got me and I could have got in trouble. He looked at my buddy Marquez, Ivan Marquez, and says, Just take care of him, man. Just make sure he doesn't hurt himself. And he left. I can't remember exactly how much I drank that night. I just know I still have some pictures that I keep. Because my buddy Marquez was there for me when the Marine Corps wasn't. He never failed me. The system failed me. He never did. He was there, and to the day I still talk to him. I did my 14 days of extra duty, 14 days of restriction as I was checking out. You know, and most of the time when guys check out, they say goodbye to all their friends. It's a happy memory. I kind of try to sneak out to the back door. I was ashamed. I was hurt. Everything that I believed, everything that I trusted, everything that I knew in the system in the Marine Corps was out the window. The Marine Corps that I loved so much just slapped me in the face, or so I thought. Now, as I'm older, I realize it wasn't the Marine Corps. It was people in the Marine Corps. But when I sit here and I look at all the paperwork and I look at all the stuff with Richard, I remember that. I remember how I felt when I got busted down from E4 to E3 and my career was ruined. Richard was knocked down from E4 to E1. Good Lord. Much worse than me. Much worse. So when people say, oh, well, he had it much worse than you. Absolutely. And that's my point. Then what happened to me, I know how I reacted. Which means if he got it a lot worse, his reactions are obviously going to be much worse. But that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here fighting. Because I could have and I should have fought it, and I didn't. And now I have this never quit mentality. Never quit. Man, look at that. Even tearing up and stuff. I have this never give up mentality. Don't ever quit. Don't ever tell anybody that you can't do something. Because that honestly was the last time I ever quit. That was the last time I allowed somebody to tell me that I couldn't do something. And I vowed that I would never do it again. So that's why I'm a fighter. That's why I have a chip on my shoulder. That's why I'm always fighting for justice. That's why I'm always standing up for those and speaking up for those who don't have a voice. And so that's why I decided to volunteer and jump on this search for Richard Halliday. Because I've been there. My career was ruined over retaliation. Staff Sergeant Nices didn't want to get busted down. He was about to retire. So to save his ass, he took me out. So, do I have an axe to grind? Possibly. But I just know that to get my closure, I'm helping others. And that's fun. I will never get my rank back. I will never be able to amend or rescind my Article 15. I don't need that stuff. All I want is to be a part of finding Richard Halliday and finding him justice. And not just Richard Halliday, but all the other active duty service members who have been retaliated against. Whether they get busted down or they end up losing their lives because as a result of the retaliation. Spoke about that gentleman who said he was going to turn me in to CID, but I released all my information to him. Please. Warrant Officer Soto knows who I am. Oh, please. He hates me. Think I'm scared of him? I think I've told you, I've said this before. Working in aviation, I'm used to dealing with officers, real officers, not warrant officers, So when, they come up and I'm the commanding officer, I'm a warrant officer, I'm like, oh, how cute. One day you're going to be that's so cute. One day you're going to grow up and be a real officer. Yes, you are. But you're not. You're a warrant officer there, Soto. I deal with pilots. In the Marine Corps, warrant officers can't fly. There's a difference between the Marine Corps and the Army. And I think that's also one of the issues here. It's an ego thing. Warrant Officer Soto has a Marine whooping his ass. He has a Marine holding his ass accountable. Oh yeah. I mean, come on, you guys know Army and Marines, they're always going at it. I came back to El Paso, and all of a sudden people started talking about, oh, you eat crayons, which is your favorite color? I have no idea what that was, but that's the joke. Marines are dumb. Marines eat crayons. And so, when people say, what's your favorite color? I said, first of all, we don't eat crayons. They are wax supplements, and I prefer the red. And I just move on. Just dealing with Soto, I think he's eating not only crayons, he's eating Play-Doh, and he's eating his boogers. I think he's eating the erasers off his pencils as well. But just the fact that a Marine veteran is all up in his Kool-Aid, messing things up for him, is really pissing them off. Well, it is what it is, Soto. You want to get rid of me? Then do the right thing. Do your job. Don't do this 110%. Just do the bare minimum. That's all we ask. Look for Richard. And if you don't want to look for him, then guess what? Pass the case on to somebody that does. I mean, sick and tired of getting all these threats. I go to Juarez and I have to deal with Special Agent Delgado, who's on my case, trying to track me down. We're getting death threats for the municipales, that is the Mexican police. I mean, the Juarez local police. We even had one of our witnesses be picked up. She testified. She went in there and put a statement that she saw Richard roughly in October, November. And about 2 months ago, when CID reported that there was no proof that Richard even entered Juarez and that there was no witnesses, they were able to say that because they went and picked up our witness, held her against her will for 4.5 hours, and threatened to take her straight to prison if she did not recant her statement. Yes, Warrant Officer Soto, you are involved in human rights violations just to cover your ass. What kind of stuff is that, Soto? Does that make you feel good? Does that make you feel like a tough guy? That you have the Juarez police doing your dirty work? I mean, every time we do something, you say, oh, that's against the law. That's against the law. Yeah, you can't do that in Mexico. Brother, please. Every time we do something, it is by the buck. Because what do we do to do things right? How are we able to go around Juarez, go around Mexico, and not get in trouble? Well, that's because we follow the Mexican Constitution. What? Constitutionalists. The law. All we do is follow the law. And the reason why Juarez police are shocked is because they don't follow the law. They don't know what the law is. So Soto, with all these threats, with all these actions, with all these things, damn, come on. I'm a Marine veteran. You know what they say? Semper Fi. A lot of people say, well, Semper Fi means Semper Fidelis, which is always faithful. Well, I like to say Semper Fi is short for Semper Fighting. We're always fighting for justice. We took an oath to fight all enemies, foreign or domestic. I didn't finish my military career. I thought I was going to be a 20-year guy. And obviously, guys like me feel like they still have more to give. They feel like they haven't finished something they said they were going to do. So, if you're wondering why the heck I'm doing all this, yeah, I'm never going to get my military career back. I'm never going to get all the benefits, the retirement stuff. But it's not about money. It's not about any of that. And it's not necessarily about recognition. Because I don't need a trophy. I don't need my name in the newspaper saying, well, this person found Richard. All I need, my trophy, doesn't have to have my name on it. My trophy is going to be headlines that state Richard Halliday was found. That's all I need. That right there is going to make me feel like I did something. It might not be my military career, but it is involving the military. And you know what? I might get some closure. I might not. Guess what? We're going to have fun trying to find out. And at the end of the day, we're going to do some good. We're going to help Richard Halliday, the Halliday family, and all the other soldiers on Fort Hood and Fort Bragg, all those other guys, and their moms, and their dads. The mothers and fathers who sent their kids to boot camp. You know, we see these 18, 19, 20-year-olds as adults. These parents see their kids in diapers walking out and getting on a plane. They see them as their babies. And they know, hey, they might be in danger, but you know what? I trust in the government. I trust in the army. I am putting their life in their hands. And they're like nothing. Bam! Just take it. I won't ever be able to replace any of their lives. But if I can at least get some sort of answers, and if I can do whatever I can to prevent or minimize this happening again, then I'll sleep a little better. I will. I don't need no shiny things on my collar. I don't need people saluting me. I don't need people calling me sir. All I need is to know that I have helped somebody get through the pain and find justice. Once again, it's Sam and Shea. You know me. You gotta take the microphone away from me. If not, I'll talk for hours. Hey, good talking to you guys. Remember, stand up, speak up, and no matter what they do to you, don't ever give up. Sammy C. We'll talk to you guys next time.